Alrighty guys, as the key ring is another Dragon Ball Legends TOP walkthrough video. So this is going to be part 1. I know it's coming at you guys a little bit late. I've just been doing a lot of like IRL stuff, and things are going good. Right? I just want to make sure, because I mean, I don't know if you guys care or not or whatever, right? But things are going good. Nothing's necessarily bad happening to me or anything like right now, but I'm trying to just propel myself further, like in my IRL career and stuff like that. I will go deeper into it and stuff like that further down the line. But as of right now, let's go ahead and focus on this, on the content creation, right? Because I have been slacking on that a little bit, and I don't want to be slacking on that. For TOP. This is the team we're going to be using. We talked a little bit about it in the last video, which was the guide, right? The overall guide. So in the last video, we already discussed using regeneration, right? Well, you already discussed that who you should be getting friendship rank on. I did talk about the yellow Piccolo a little bit since he is going to be your healer. But in that scenario, I actually listed one of this Super Boo as one of my purples, right? And I mean, he's alright. He's mostly here. He does have debuffs, right? And I always do value the debuffs, but he's mostly here simply because of the fact that he is a sparking in Z tier. So he's going to be a no-brainer to bring for most of you guys, right? For me, I only have him at 7 stars, and I mean, that doesn't sound like the worst star amount in the world, but in a game mode like this where he's like, and he's very, very much so aged, and so he's a very old sparking unit, right? I don't think he's going to perform well for me specifically, and we want to kind of play it safe. So you do see me going all the way down into A tier and picking up one of these guys right here in the form of this purple Janemba, who does buff regeneration, base strike, and blast defense, not by a lot, but also has a Zenkai buff for purple and powerful opponent, which is going to be this purple Cell, who actually has a better debuff, right? Which is, I want him on the field pretty much at all times because of this board-wide debuff right here, right? So this is my train of thought right here, right? I could probably even maybe recommend people bringing in this Zenkai Piccolo over the Fat Boo that I have on the bench right there, because I don't think the Fat Boo is necessarily a great unit either, especially because he's only color buffing, meaning that he's only buffing purple and blue, right? So that's kind of like where my mentality is at right now. But these are the friendship ranks. Remember, friendship ranks are important in this game mode, because if I take them to regular stats, you're going to see a visible difference, right? And specifically in key restore speed, you see Janemba at 2,432. When I look at TOP stats, it bumps up all the way to 2,553. That's a direct correlation to your friendship rank, right? So I think that's important to state as well. Make sure you guys are putting on your equips. The general equips that I like to use is I like to use this TOP explosive crash, right, which gives base health, blast attack, strike attack, right? You have to be 7 stars or above, which is very unfortunate for that equipment. I also used there's specific ones, right? There's equip conditions, there's one for each typing, defense type, range type, all that good stuff. You can find these in the exchange shop, right? So I have the 2 gold equips, and then this equip which only buffs base health. That's pretty much how I like to go with it, more of like a defensive setup right here, right? So now let's go ahead and get into the path. We're gonna play up until the very first boss. So the very first fight we're going to go up against is this 4/5 stage, right? It's right in front of us, and it looks pretty like it's a stage that we're comfortable with, right? That we're familiar with. We kind of just color counter this right here. I will be showing the first fight, that way you guys can go ahead and see my attack order and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and go into the layout. Alright, so this is the layout we're going to be using, right, or the team formation we're going to be using right here. I could bring in that purple Janemba, but as you guys do know, he's in A tier, right? He's in A tier, and so that is going to be, I'm going to notice a difference in points right here, right? And so this is like an easier stage. I feel like I don't necessarily need to do that, so we're going to go ahead and just do it like this. Nail's going to be the only one not getting healing right here, and mostly, I don't really care if Nail dies, honestly, because if at any point Nail does die, I can just swap in the purple Janemba. I'm more so concerned that Cell stays alive throughout this run, or at least the best that I can make him like stay alive, right? Alright, so for attack order, since our Cell attacks first and foremost, pretty much, well, I think he's gonna attack first. He has a relatively high key restore speed. We'll go after the blue, right? And then we'll actually go for some type neutral damage against the purple unit. Then we'll go for a yellow unit, purple unit, yellow unit, and Super 17 for the end. I usually do go for Super 17 at the end because he can be a little bit more of a pain in the butt to take out, because he can eat a blast card. Most of my team are set to blast-based strategy. Alright, so honestly, not bad at all. This looks great on paper right here. 1.7 million points, almost 1.8. I'll go ahead and take that in. Everyone seems to still be in great standings. We did get the full kill right there, so nothing to worry about there. Alright, so next fight is going to be a 5-5 stage to the left of us right here. It is against sagas from the movies, right? So I'm not too worried about this. I mean, it is a good roster though, right? It's a good roster, plus they have debuffs that are going to be an issue with the form of that red Turles right there. Alright, so this is the team formation we're going to be using here. So two things that I noticed, right? So one, doesn't have any yellows, so my purples are kind of free to just go crazy right here. Two is that there's 2 red units, right? And so I'm actually going to go ahead and sub both of my yellows out, leave them on the bench right here, right? And we'll bring in the Fat Boo here, I suppose. I think we're going to play this a little bit more defensively. I don't really expect to get the full kill right here, but I just want to live and maybe just build up some super attacks overall. And then I'll build up my HP on the easier fights. Alright, so for attack orders, this is one of the newer fights, right? For attack order, I'm not exactly sure what's going to work best against this team just yet. But I do feel like Turles is your top priority target, and then Super Saiyan 3 Goku is going to be right after him, right? Because I feel like he's one of the more updated units. He has a crazy kit. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. I want to get him out of the way as soon as possible. And then we'll work on the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2. They have a really high key restore speed. Getting them out of the way is going to be good for us, right? And then we'll get Slug, Tapion, and then this purple Goku at the very end. I don't think this purple Goku is that much of a threat, but I haven't read his kit in a while, so I could be dead wrong in that. So coming out of that one, of course, like I said before, I didn't really expect to get the full kill right there, but we still got the same amount of points, right? 1.7 million, almost 1.8 million. My units are still looking healthy, plus we have a bunch of super attacks pretty much built up right here, right? I think the biggest unfortunate thing, or the most unfortunate occurrence that happened there was I really was kind of banking for one of the enemy units to hit my Janemba with a super attack. That way he can go ahead and absorb it, get 50% to his gauge, maybe get his own super attack off, deal a ton of damage. That unfortunately did not happen for us, right? If it did happen for us, we actually might have been able to get the full kill right here, right? Because we were pretty close, I suppose. But I think overall, we did what we wanted to do, play defensive. Alright, next fight. One of those easy fights like I was telling you, 3-5 stage right here against a Frieza Force team. We've used these minions before and stuff like that. I don't exactly remember their kits, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because it was hard to use them. Right, it actually was pretty difficult to use them, and I think I don't know, I still feel like the Cybermens were still the most noteworthy minions even after their release, right? Specifically the yellow and the blue ones, those are the only ones that really stick into my head. Alright, so this is how we're going to be running it right here. Again, you do see me swapping the purple Janemba back onto the bench right there. He's going to be used for those more difficult stages that we do come across. Cell, surprise. Okay, so for once, we're actually going to let Cell chill down here in a non-healing tile. He's not going to be covered by this yellow Piccolo because Nail kind of like he needs it more, right? I mean, like I said before, I don't really necessarily care if he dies, but I don't want to just throw him out there as fodder either. That would just be dumb of me. Right, and plus I want the extra firepower from the Cell since there are 2 green units on the opposing team, but we have a lot of super attacks going on right here. I'm not really too worried about this. Alright, so for attack order, I know the first turn is going to be a little bit dry. I don't think anyone's going to actually activate a super attack on the first turn. We'll go for this guy first, and then we'll take out both of the green units. I think we might be able to pull this off right here. Right, might, emphasis on might, and then we will go for this purple guy right here. We'll go for Monray. I'm pretty sure that's his name. I hope that's his name, and then Zarbon at the very end. Alright, so that wasn't that bad. There was a cover change initiated there, though. That's the only thing that I didn't really take into consideration, is that one of these damn minions had a cover change. I think it was a strike-based cover change or something like that. Nothing really major to worry about or anything like that, but it did kind of interrupt the ball that I had rolling right there when I was taking out both of these greens right here, right, which was a little bit unfortunate. And in classic Nail fashion, I'm glad I put him on a healing tile there, because, dude, man just takes so much damage. Like, it's stupid how much damage he takes. Like, even, it's kind of, like, hard to imagine that when this guy had first released into the game, he was actually really, really damn good, right? But even at 14 stars, I think he just needs a Zenkai to actually be more valuable within this game mode, at least. Thankfully, we still have an easy route to get through, right? To 3-5 stage, once again, and it is the Gohan stage. I'm not worried about the stage whatsoever, especially since we have a bunch of purples. Gohan, even if we have like a bunch of our purples like dogpile onto the Gohan and stuff like that, I'm not worried about it, because Gohan attacks at the very end, right? He attacks at the very end because he has an extremely low key restore speed. So let's talk about our layout here. All right, so I'm kind of like in an interesting predicament here. right? Because we do have a guaranteed super attack with Slug. We know he has a low key restore speed. Do I go all in on Beerus first? Do I swap out like this and go all in on Beerus? I think that actually might be the play here. Because if all my purples attack first, and then I get the super attack off on Gohan, and the extra super, or the special move, or well, the extra attack with this red, I think we could do something kind of spicy here, right? But this completely relies on my Slug having the super attack. All right, so for attack order, I think we can do this, right? If you're not sure, if you don't have a super attack lined up right here, always go for Gohan first. Right, but we're going to go for Beerus first, then Gohan, see if this plays out for us well, right? And then we'll go for Piccolo, Whis, Bulma, and then Shallot. Alright, so good news. Even without the Slug super attack, this attack order can still be replicated with the same exact result. I didn't need the Slug super attack to actually get through Beerus and Gohan in that very first turn. And so the reason why I go for Beerus first there is because at the start of the second turn he inflicts you with kind of attack and stuff like that, right? So this is pretty damn good. This is a pretty solid lineup right here for this fight, but only at 3/5, right? We have to test it at 4/5 or even maybe at 5/5. I'm pretty sure, and there's going to be a threshold there where this lineup is not going to be working out in the same fashion that it worked out right here. So now this one's going to be a little bit of a toughie. This is our 4/5 stage. There's a lot of yellow units here, right? A lot of yellow units, and this was the stage that I was most worried about when I was even making the path in the first place, when I had chose my team in the first place, right? Because we rely on a lot of our purple units right here. There's 3 yellows, right? 3 yellows, so this one's going to be a little bit tough. Thankfully, it's only 4/5. So hopefully we can kind of like get through this. I don't know. I'm not too sure how this is going to work out because this is also going to be one of those newer age fights, I suppose. All right, so this is what I'm going to be doing right here, and this is very risky, right? This is very risky because I'm bringing in 2 purples against 3 yellows, right? 3 yellows. We only have 1 red unit to our name right here, and I'm kind of like reconsidering even allowing this to be on our path right here, but it's kind of too late, right? Because the fight next to it is a 5/5 stage and it's pretty awful as well. But the main goal here is we do have some damage mitigation, we have debuffs, we have heals. Hopefully that will be enough to let us coast by on this fight right here alone. I'm not too sure if we're gonna have to see the results and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily scared of dying, as you guys have seen in previous runs. So let's try it like this. I'm not too worried about these key restore speed tiles either. I'm mostly concerned about getting these hills off, getting my debuff off, all that stuff. Alright, so for attack order, I want to get this guy out of the way first. I think I mentioned that in the guide too, because he does have like that cross guard cover change that it doesn't matter what HP restrictions, there is no HP restrictions is what I should say, right? So it doesn't matter what HP threshold his allies are at. If it's at 50%, 100%, he will do a cover change for those in range. And so we'll get him out of the way first, and then let's get this baby Vegeta who does provide support. Let's get this GT Vegeta who I believe provides debuffs, right? And then we'll get this green Vegeta, this Evo Vegeta, and then the death buff Vegeta at the end, right? Specifically at the end, because we don't want him providing those death buffs in the first place. All right, so yeah, we didn't get the full kill there. All right, didn't get the full kill, but the damage mitigation was very impactful, I would say. It was very impactful, right? 2 million points. This was our 5th win streak bonus and stuff like that. We did get the blast damage mitigation from Janemba. We also got the solar flare off from this first form, or the second form cell, I'm sorry, the Zenkai one. And Perfect Cell didn't take any damage at all there, which is great. I think that's actually phenomenal. We actually were very close to getting the full kill, right? You can see that Death Buff Vegeta was at the cusp of his death. I can't believe we didn't kill him with the rush. And Eva Vegeta was pretty low there as well. This fight more so relied on us having super attacks. We needed super attacks for this. All right, next one will be straight above 3/5 stage, right? It is against this fight that we are familiar with. We may have to change our strategy to all strikes here, which is unfortunate. I don't like doing that. All right, so this is what we'll be using right here. Remember, the easiest way to go ahead and just swap your characters from blast over to strike, or the only way actually, is you click on the character that you want, you click on the little strike icon, right, or the blast icon, whatever it may be, and it says choose your attack strategy right there. Like right there, I swapped him over to blast, boom, now he's back over to strike. That's all you got to do. The thing that's most infuriating about this is that you actually have 2 tiles that are buffing your blast damage right here, right? And it's like hello, I need the strike damage buffs right here. But either way, regardless, we're going to put 2 purples on the bench right here because there's 2 yellows that could Obviously, they have the potential to get their super attack. We're going to stop them from super attacking regardless, 2 yellows nonetheless. But I still want the debuffs. The board-wide debuff from Cell is still so damn massive that I really can't ignore it. Alright, so first order of business will be this guy, because he can't get a super attack at the start of turn 2. He has IQ restore speed. I think, you know, honestly, I think we go for double yellows here, seeing as our red unit's actually going to attack at the very end of our lineup. And then we'll start working on the blue units right here. We'll get Zangia out of the way, and then we'll get Bojack out of the way, this Namek Goku, and then Gohan at the very end. Alright, so we did get the full kill right there, but for a 3/5 stage, I was expecting that to be a lot easier. 1.7 million points, nearly the 1.8 million points, but people are taking damage, notably the Slug. Right, this yellow Slug is taking a lot more damage than I would like him to. This purple Cell is just, I don't know what, like he's MC Hammer or something, bro. Like they literally don't touch him. But either way, do get the full kill right there. We avoided all the super attacks. Make sure you guys are swapping your units back over to the respective strategies. If they favor the blast cards, put them back to blast. Alright, so next fight is something to worry about, for me at least, for something that I'm worried about, right? 3/5 stage, there's Ultra units on here, well, there's one Ultra unit, and a recent LF units in the form of the final form Cooler right there, alongside the Goku. It's Sagas from the movies team, right? It's Sagas from the movies team, minus the Ultra Vegeta, of course, but Ultra Vegeta being on here regardless is just so, it's a little bit infuriating, right? It's a little bit disrespectful for the devs to actually be like, you know what, let's go ahead and slap this team on there, make them fight this team. There's another team down the line that has 3 Ultra units on that. We're not touching that with the 10-foot stick, but we're going to be attempting this fight right here. Let's go ahead and talk about our layout. Alright, so this is what we're going to be using right here. Again, you do see me busting out Janemba. Janemba will be used for the more difficult fights, as you guys have already seen. It's been working out for us pretty successfully thus far. He also has a super attack available to him. He's also going to be Zenkai buffing that Cell up there, which is very nice for us. Right, and we have other super attacks on the way. This guy will be building up his super attack right here. Cell should be getting his super attack regardless of being on any kind of tile and stuff like that, right? So stuff that we need, right, essentially. Alright, so this will be our attack order. Right, we're gonna go for Cooler first. Right, we're gonna super attack him with Janemba and stuff like that. Hopefully we get him out on the first turn, and then we'll start working on the Super Vegito. Start working on Super Vegito. He's going to be those 2 units are your biggest threats. Those are the 2 units you want to go ahead and focus on. And then we'll actually cycle back to a red unit. We'll get Tapion here, and then we'll get this Broly. This Broly should be fairly easy to take down too. He's literally like one of the first sparking units in the game, like at least the first 5, right? Because it was like, well, I'm not even gonna get into that, but he was very, very early in game. And then we'll get Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, Goku at the very end. I feel like Goku is going to be a little bit tanky. That's why we're saving him for last. All right, so great news. No one's dead, right? No one's dead, but awful news, on the other hand, is I forgot to, so I need to learn to take my own advice, right? I didn't swap my units back to the respective strategies, so hopefully you guys did listen to me when I told you guys to swap your units back over to Blast if they're Blast based, right? Because I did not do that. Had I have done that, this fight would have been a lot easier, and we probably would have got the full kill. We only got 1.5 million points off of that. That's obviously very disrespectful, very bad, right? Everyone's still, I mean, we're in decent health right here. This Fat Boo took a lot of damage, which isn't necessarily the best thing in the world right here. Again, if I had swapped them all back to their respective strategies, this probably would have been a lot easier. All right, next fight though, another 3/5 stage, right? So we're kind of just like keeping it going right here in the trend of the 3. We have a very easy path for us right here, right? So we do have, we already saw this fight before. This is fine. We can handle this. It's only 3/5. We don't need Janemba necessarily here. Alright, so this is the team formation we're going to be using right here. You do see me making some swaps and stuff like that. Notably, Cell will be getting this his special move off. I don't think he's going to get it in the first turn, right? Because you start off with 3% per turn. So he'll be at like 97%. He'll get it at the start of turn 2. So that's something that we do have to consider here. We do have some sustained damage cut tiles, which we'll be using for the Piccolo and for the Slug as well. Hopefully we can get some heals going on right here. Alright, so since this is only a 3/5 stage, I imagine this is going to go a lot easier. We'll go for, again, Turles first, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, then we'll go for single-handed Spirit Bomb Goku after that, actually, right? Because we do have yellows that will, I think my Cell is going to super attack that Super Saiyan 3 Goku and such. Then after that, we'll go for Slug and then go for double reds right here, starting off with the Tapion first since he's very squishy. Alright, so honestly not bad. I actually would say that went very well. Right, 1.8 million off of that. We didn't take too much damage. Slug still kind of looking a little bit iffy. Same thing with Nail right here, but we did get the full kill. 3/5 stage wasn't nothing to worry about. All right, so next we have another 3/5 stage actually, right above us. It's this fight again, but it's going to be easier. right? It's going to be easier. We have more key restore speed tiles right here, which isn't necessarily helping us out the most, but it is what it is, right? So let's go ahead and go into the layout once again. All right, so we actually have something good going on right here. We are actually going to take advantage of the key restore speed tile, right? Because Nail has 100% to his gauge. I want him to go ahead and just start off by nuking one of the green units, right? I think that's going to actually have a heavy payoff for us, especially if he can get the one shot. It's a 3/5 stage, so I do believe he'll get the one shot, especially considering the fact that we'll be having debuffs available to us. So we'll put him right here in this slot specifically, and then try our hardest to just speed run this, I suppose. So the way I think we do this attack order here is I think we do go for Baby Vegeta first, so we get that super attack off. Then we'll go for the cross guard Super Saiyan God Vegeta. We'll go for Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, kind of get the rotation between the greens and the yellows. We'll get this Vegeta right here, and typically I would say go for the Evo Vegeta, but our last encounter proved that this Evo Vegeta is actually really tanky. So I kind of want to do this, right? This might be wrong. This might not be the right play, but we're going to test this out. We're going to go for Death Buff Vegeta prior to the Evo Vegeta. All right, listen. Nail did not have the firepower there. Nail sucks. Nail, we did get the full kill. Listen, we did get the full kill, but we're on the path to defeat right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's not good. That's not what we want to see right here. We're literally on the path to defeat. We have a lot of super attacks, though. Hold on. Yeah, so honestly, I should have just put Nail on the super attack thing, right? He already has a relatively high key restore speed, but I thought I was going to be able to get something cheeky off, be able to just get the very first lineup on him. It just did not work out for us. So if you're in the same predicament, same situation, I probably would just put Nail on that upgrade special move tile instead. All right, but next fight is our 10th win streak bonus. So this is still kind of an accomplishment for us, right, to get here without dying. 3/5 stage. It is against GT. I'm not too worried about these. These are a lot of outdated GT units minus the free-to-play 17, right? So I think this one won't be too bad at all. Alright, so we're going to do this. We are actually going to ignore the special move tile, even though we have a lot of super attacks coming out right here. Just primarily because of the fact that I want the heals, man. I really want the heals right here, right? But we do have a super attack basically coming out of Slug right here. Hopefully that we do so much damage output here that we don't really take a lot of damage. We're just basically trying to do a damage control here. I need a heal. Alright, so I know my Cell is going to super attack fairly early on. We're going to actually go for Kid Goku first, and then we're going to go for Super 17, right? Super 17 is going to be, my Super Boo, my red Super Boo will be getting his super attack off, so that should be good enough to go ahead and get him out of the way, right? And then we will go for just another red unit here, and then I think we'll go for a green unit here, and then Pan and Super Boo. I think this works out. I think this is good. So like I said, I knew this was going to be an easy fight right here, right? 2.8 million points is really good. We actually didn't take that much damage either. You can see that we slowly but surely inched our way up in terms of healing and stuff like that, but we did use a lot of super attacks, right? We used Cell super attack, Super Boost super attack, we used this Piccolo super attack, Slug super, like everything, literally everything. But it's okay because they kind of like made it up by building it up a little bit there too. Our next stage is another 3/5 stage, right? So we're kind of getting spoon-fed a little bit on this path, right? Just a little bit, but I'm enjoying myself. Hopefully you guys are too, because these are, I mean, yes, the game mode has become a little bit like brain-numbing. It kind of always was brain-numbing and stuff like that, but I'm just happy to get this 1000 CC. Hopefully you guys are too. But anyways, we have this stage, which is another minions fight right here, right? Which isn't going to, especially considering that there's 2 greens right here, that's huge for us, because we got all the purples in the world. So let's try this, right? We do have a super attack coming out from Cell. He is going to be attacking second in the turn right here. I am not sure if I should just slide him. I'm going to slide him right here. I always make the mistake because, yes, this is damage inflicted, but I feel like I need the extra super attack damage. I always make that mistake of putting him right there and not right there, and then I don't get the damn one shot. I need the one shot right here, so we're going to kind of like bank on that a little bit. All right, so for attack order here, we are going to go for Ramon first, right? We're going to get that super attack off with our perfect form Cell. And then let's work on Robbery. Robbery does have a cover change. I'm pretty sure it is a strike cover change. I kind of want to just go ahead and see if we can slide past that overall. And then we'll go for a pull because he does have supports. And then we can go after a pull. I suppose we can go for this guy since we have a lot of type neutral damage over him. And then go for Orlin. And then Shisami at the very end. I feel like Shisami is going to be the least amount of, like, the least threatening unit on this team. Dude, so maybe I underestimated this team just a wee bit. Dude, Nail got absolutely bodied, bro. Nail got packed up. Dude, Orlan attacked him twice, though, to be fair, right? I think that was very, very unlucky RNG, especially because if you don't know, what the pull or the support that a pull provides is like crits, right? So this man, Orlan, on type advantage, was critting Nail. It's not, obviously, it's not great, right? That's awful. Orlan actually was the only one to survive this team. Maybe I should have, in hindsight, maybe I should have just targeted him a little bit more, though, a little bit more aggressively, right? Maybe I should have just held off on going for Ramon, because Ramon wasn't necessarily doing the most amount of damage, but he was eating it like nothing. Well, because he's a defensive type, right? That's how he's meant to be and stuff like that. So maybe that was just fault on my own end right there, but I also think it was partially unlucky. All right, next fight, 4th stage against Super Warriors. It's to the right of us right here. This is going to be fairly easy. Another stage that we are very, very familiar with. I would say we're even comfortable with it right here, right? We kind of already know our rotations here, so let's go ahead and dive right into this one. All right, so we'll do this one like this, and if everyone was at a normal amount of HP, at a good amount of HP, I would go ahead and just do this so I can get the extra strike damage right here, but these guys all need the healing more so than my cell does, right? That's the only reason why we're going ahead and doing it like this formation instead. All right, so attack order, we'll go for Yamcha first. I think that'll be a good bet. All right, go for Yamcha first, and then let's go ahead and get Turles out of the way. He does have, like, he has decent support for his team and stuff like that. And then let's get this green unit here, right? Especially considering the fact that I'm running, what, 2 blues? All right, so let's get this green unit out of the way, then we'll get Krillin, this Goku, and then Death Buff Vegeta at the very end. All right, dude, we're finished, bro. We are finished, dude. Look at our HP, dude. The red units kept attacking the yellow units. So, of course, obviously, when that happens, it's not a good sight, right? But we probably shouldn't have had 2 yellows on there in the first place. Right? It was just me being, I wanted to bring 2 yellows purely because there was 2 purples. Obviously, you can't just color counter everything right there, right? Because in my, like, little smooth brain, I was like, all right, 2 blues, 2 yellows, we're okay. That necessarily wasn't the best thing. We should have just went for more so of a type neutral thing. Like, we were okay bringing in the 2 blues because there was only 1 green right there. I still do recommend doing that. But bringing in the 2 yellows right there was definitely a risk that did not pay off at all. All right, for the last fight of this video, for part 1 at least, right, we are going against this 4th stage against this Champa fight right here. Rival Universe fight is what I should say, but the reason why I say Champa is because that's the first target here. All right, so again, can't really take advantage of these other tiles, of these, like I can't really take advantage of this tile, I can't really take advantage of this tile right here, even if I wanted to, right? Just because I need to prioritize the hills that this guy's going to be giving me. I could easily bring in Janemba here to increase my longevity, my survivability, and stuff like that, but I'd rather die earlier on and get my units back than keep trying to just slug through it with this Janemba, knowing that I'm going to be getting lesser points overall, right? Hopefully that does make sense. Right? Hopefully that does make sense to you guys as the audience, but we're going to be doing it like this. I think we're going to be able to get through this stage, but I do think we're going to lose some. I think we're going to lose both of our yellows if I'm being completely honest with you, but at least we'll be trying to maximize our points right here since these are all Z tier units that I have on the board. All right, so first unit, obviously Champa, right? And then we'll actually get the easier units out of the way here, right? In terms of, we'll go for Rosie, Kakunza, then we'll get Lavender, Basil, and then Bergadma at the very end. Bergadma having like that bubble shield and stuff does pose as an issue. Dude, we couldn't even get through Champa in the first turn, so we still got stunned, so it didn't even matter. But yeah, like I said before, I basically predicted it. Both of our yellows did go down right there. We're basically on a downward spiral into losing the team right here. But 2 million points is pretty good, considering that we only got 3 kills right there. Like I said, we went for we pretty much tried to go for the easier targets, right? Especially with those EX units right here. But only getting 3 kills and gathering 2 million points off of that, I think I'll go ahead and take that right there. But either way, that's the first half of the board right there. We're going to go ahead and end the video off. But before we do say our goodbyes, let's go ahead and see where we lie on the leaderboard right now, especially since we still have 5 TP to our name. All right, so number 1 literally has double our points, right? So let's take a look at his team. It's Sagas from the movies, right? Or kind of. So actually, I think we did cover this team in our guide. Right, so we have Turles on here, you have the Super Saiyan Goku, right, the healer one, the EX one right there, and the Bandit Yamcha Yajirobe, the Demon King Dabura. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty solid right here, right? It looks pretty damn beefy as well. Obviously, he's number 1, so he knows exactly what he's doing. This looks like a very survivable team, especially since it's comprised of just Z tier units. Let's see where we're at right now. I don't think it's going to be... Hopefully, it's still, like, within range. Dude, okay. Okay, literally, I'm more than fine with this. 4,414, dude? With this team? Especially with, we're still missing out on 5 TP used right here. I think that's pretty damn solid. Okay, we'll take that. Well, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, definitely drop them in the comment section down below. Let me know. Did you guys die yet? Did you guys die with this team? Or are you guys actually in a better position than me? Because some of you guys were in a better position than me in the last walkthrough as well. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoy the content, make sure you guys do leave a like and maybe even consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. Later!